れたものはいつか思い出すはずでしょう。消えた夢の影を探した寂しさの答え、儚さを愛触れてた風に流れて、僕は君を愛せていたか。少し気づくことが遅すぎ、ダウンですから消えてゆく明日さえも崩れ落ちてゆく。何もないここで一人きり、いつかまた最後の日を迎えられてみれ、また生まれ落ちた君が望む日を。
Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another video. I'm here to talk about this man who visited an isolated tribe, and this took place at North Sentinel Island, and the people that he were visiting were the Sentinelese tribe, and apparently the reason he did it was to leave a can of Coke.
An American tourist has been arrested for allegedly traveling to a restricted reserve on a remote island and leaving behind a can of Coke as an offering for the world's most isolated tribe to try. Mikhailo Viktorovich Polyakov was arrested in India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands after he allegedly visited a prohibited tribal reserve on North Sentinel Island without authorization.
Again, for his YouTube channel, which I'm not going to really showcase because I don't see nothing of value.
Well. I guess I'm gonna do a reaction.
But he is very fortunate to make it out, although he's getting 5 years in prison, and that's just an estimate. It was a lot worse for the last person that visited Sentinel Island, because I think his name was John Allen Chow. He died at age 26, and I think it was around 2018 or so, where he was trying to have the Sentinelese people turn to Christianity, and he ended up losing his life.
An American missionary who loved the outdoors, John Allen Chow often documented his adventures on Instagram. But these photos would be his last. Authorities say the 26-year-old was killed, possibly by bow and arrow, on what police described as a misplaced adventure in a highly restricted area to a remote island east of India in the Andaman Sea. He was trying to meet and convert the Sentinelese, an endangered tribe photographed here in 2004 that's been isolated for centuries and rejects contact with outsiders who might expose them to disease. According to journals and emails published by the Washington Post, Chow attempted to reach the tribe by boat in the days before his death, but was shot at with an arrow, which pierced his waterproof Bible. He wrote to family, "You guys might think I'm crazy and all this, but I think it's worthwhile to declare Jesus to these people. God, I don't want to die." In a statement shared on his Instagram account, Chow's family wrote, "Words cannot express the sadness we have experienced about this report. He had nothing but love for the Sentinelese people. We forgive those reportedly responsible for his death." This was a dangerous trip both for the missionary and the tribe.
It was incredibly dangerous for him and foolhardy thing to have done, but even more dangerous for the Sentinelese themselves. They are the most isolated tribe on Earth.
Tonight, authorities are working to figure out how to recover Chow's remains without further disturbing the tribe. Lucy Kafanoff, NBC News.
I'm gonna get to the serious part, you guys. It is not worth going to these remote islands, whether you're visiting, because let's be real, even though you might not know them personally and you don't know what's to come of it, these are very scary, isolated people, because there's really nothing you can really say to communicate. because they've been isolated from the community. I don't know whether they've been excommunicated. I personally don't know, but there's no way you can be able to actually cooperate with these people.
Tucked away in the picturesque waters of the Bay of Bengal exists a tiny island that has captured imaginations for centuries. But its beauty as a tropical paradise is not what has garnered attention. Rather, it is the often violent, uncontacted tribe that calls the island home. For most, this island is a window into the past and an opportunity to understand how ancient people lived. But for some, this island has become their final resting place.
Because these seem like the type of people that really can't talk, who have no type of verbal language, who just seem mute. And honestly, like, what is to gain just visiting these people? And I'm honest, I'll be honest, I'd be terrified, not knowing the unknown, not know what might happen if I go out and like approach these people. I wouldn't take the time a day to see what it's like, and I don't want to learn from it because there's really nothing to learn there.
At last, the first glimpse of the Sentinel. This tribe believes in total isolation. It will not tolerate a stranger.
As is obvious in the footage, the tribe had no interest in making friends, and rather buried half of the gifts they'd been given before shooting arrows toward the film crew.
A member of our film unit was wounded by one of the many arrows, each 2.5 meters long.
That is it. Guards, give him the death sentence.
You're basically asking to forfeit your life. And again, the last guy who did lose his life, and I can't say whether he deserved it, but he was really stupid, and he was pretty condescending, again, this is the point I'm trying to make, you guys. The fact that he's trying to basically manage people's lives and make decisions for them, literally telling them, oh, they should turn to Christian. How would they even know what that even is? Or how would they even understand him? Because again, just because there's humans out there does not mean that they can communicate like at a human level. So let's be real.
Two men aged 48 and 52 were fishing for mud crabs near the island. However, the pair got so drunk that while sleeping, the anchor of the boat, which was a rock tied to a rope, fell apart and drifted the men toward North Sentinel. The following morning, fellow fishermen said they tried to shout at the men and warn them that they were in danger. However, they did not respond. They were probably drunk, and the boat drifted into the shallows where they were attacked and killed.
Because there's a reason behind that. There are just some people who are very tribal. I don't want to say certain words that might offend anybody, because I just want to be very open about that. You can't talk to someone who is basically living through prehistoric times, or primitive, if that's the best word. Yeah, well, again, these are primitive people, and I'm not trying to insult anyone, but like, because again, you don't know what awaits you. But again, this guy was absolutely, again, although he was very lucky to make it alive, even though he is going to jail for this, it's still very stupid. Because I don't, again, unless maybe someone didn't warn him, because I don't, again, unless he knew it was somehow illegal to go there, then honestly he should have thought about the consequences. He should have taken it into consideration and not go there. Because you don't know what awaits you. Because I'll be honest, my life, just like anybody, their own lives matter more than anything. It's not worth it for the content. It's not worth being pursued by crazy people. You're putting yourself in a situation where they can choose to do whatever, and nobody can help you. You're completely vulnerable at this point. There's no law enforcement. There's no community. There's nobody that can be able to guide you while you're in the isolated island, especially at North Sentinel. I'm sure there are plenty of places, but you pretty much take away your own freedom at that point. Because let me make it clear though. If you go somewhere where they pretty much will dehumanize you, that don't even care about morals, who don't even know about rights, a lot is going to come out of it. But the thing is, when you see something like this, you think of like gang members or people who basically like operate neighborhoods, who try to claim streets, maybe their territory, and are very territorial. Again, people like the Sentinels are very territorial. But what makes them different compared to gang members is that they will not be able to like negotiate. Where when it comes to gangs, is that even though they may be aggressive, they do not compare to the to these isolated tribes, because these are people who've been isolated for several years, whether it may be due to the conflict, because of like slavery, war, and they're trying to avoid all that so they don't get caught in the crossfire again. And they feel that in there, again, I can't really predict or assume, but something tells me is they feel like they lost faith in humanity, and that's why they are the way they are. But, and again, it's not like we gotta have some sort of consideration, and it's not just about protecting tribes, it's about protecting ourselves and knowing boundaries, because that's the reason why I didn't want to speak, but it's about knowing your boundaries. There's just some lines you can't cross, and there are some places where you're allowed to come, where they'll allow you permission. Even though tribes won't really tell you that you need permission from them, they're just gonna outright execute you. So that's why it's always best to know where you are before you decide to visit somebody, or you decide to go to a like isolated island. But I can't feel sorry for this guy at all. Should have really thought about it, and his life could have ended very quick. Let's be real. And it's not to come off as a threat. It's like he didn't even think about how dangerous it is. Like again, apparently it's like nowadays content is more than your own life. Is that people are willing to pretty much risk their own life just to hopefully make some sort of like content out of it, to gain some sort of like monetary value, to be able to be recognized and somehow be looked at as someone who's basically an inspiration. But this guy is just a nuisance influencer. Let's get it straight. Let's keep it 100. I just want to keep it straight and be forward about it. But overall, I feel like I said enough for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to check for more upcoming content in the future. Be sure to check your notifications. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.
Linger brothers, your